Hey everybody, it's decorating day, and the last time you saw this, my little dog was sitting right in front, and now we've got some identifiers on there just so people know who and where I am. And I just thought I'd take you around the classroom. It's mostly done, actually, and so I want to show you all the different areas. You can see how things change from the work in progress video. So over here, I've got my behavior chart. I haven't put the students' names on there yet. We haven't gotten our class list yet. We'll get that in about a week. And that's the Super Improvers wall if you're familiar with whole brain teaching. There's my supplies for a morning meeting and so forth. Ignore the mess on the table. And there's my little puppy, though. She's underneath the table today. So up here for this skinny bulletin board, this is where I decided to locate my theme board. My theme board is a really integral part of teaching in 4th grade. Theme is something that's really important that they understand. And at the beginning of the year, students need a lot of scaffolding to be able to understand theme. And one of the best scaffoldings you can offer them is a choice of alternatives. And then as you get into the year, I either take this down or I tell them, you really need to start thinking about your own ideas of themes. And here's my classroom library. Actually, before that, this crate is usually where I keep my students' personal whiteboards. Usually I put that right in the middle of the morning meeting area. Right now I don't have any personal whiteboards, so it's sitting empty for now. But I decided to use both the top of the table and the bottom underneath the table for my classroom library, and that has helped to alleviate some of the crunch over here. This is the rest of the classroom library, pretty much as you saw it before. Up here are my language arts bulletin boards. So this is my writing bulletin board. It says, "Writing is a process of making choices about what to say and how to say it." That's my favorite quote from Lucy Calkins. And here's my cafe menu. I really, really wish this board were magnetic, but it is not. So unfortunately I'm going to have to tape things up and just cross my fingers that they will stay up. Over here I decided to make my schedule board. I know this is a terrible place for a schedule board, like stuck here in the back corner, but I couldn't figure out anything else to do here. So as you can see, that's a typical schedule. The day is very chopped up with lots of different things, so much so that you can see I ran out of space. So here's the rest of the classroom library. This is the fiction part. I lost a couple of bins in the move, so I'm going to need to fix those. So over here underneath, I put in these clear tubs. These are things for the students to use like this is recess stuff, like I usually have a playground ball in there, but right now I have jump ropes and things. Up there, the other clear tubs, those are things to use for inside recess. So like marble works, and I have some building kinds of things. Those are just empty. This is the beginnings of my student supply center. Actually, right here is where my mailboxes are going to go eventually. I hope they fit there. And then over here in the copy room area, this is all my displays, my box of displays, which is very messy, but here it's going to be. And these are all my bins set out. And what I've decided to do with the bins is we do switch for science. So these are going to be bins for the other 2 classes that come in here for science. So basically what we do is I teach my class science, and then I teach the same thing to another class and the same thing to another class. Because there's not enough bins for every student, the kids will double up. But there should be enough room. We're not having them carry that much with them when they go to science, so you should be able to fit, like 4 or 5 kids in each bin. I'm not quite ready to show you my office yet. I think I'm going to make that a separate video. But one of the things I did to alleviate the storage problem, was to make seat backs. That's what I spent all day doing. And I did do a tutorial on these, and I think they came out great. We just used leftover fabric that my mother-in-law had, and I think they actually go together really, really well. And if you come back over here, because I talked about these are rolling desks before, I've tried to anchor them with my book boxes so that at least we have 3 rows that are lined up with the book boxes. So what we can do every day is realign everybody. So if you come over here, my wonderful husband has done a great job on all these displays. So here is my Word Nerd wall. This is where the students, we put up index cards that have the affixes or roots of the week. So it's kind of like an intermediate grade word wall. It goes with this language standard, which I have posted right here. I can use common affixes to determine or clarify word meanings. So it's blank. And then down here I always have an introductory lesson to my huge classroom library. And to make it a little less daunting, what I do is I have all these books lined up, and the kids can only choose from these books. So I try to have a wide variety of fiction and nonfiction, and more than I have students. So here's my little area. You can see I have an earlier version of the seat pocket, one we decided to not go with because it took too long to make. And in this red basket, this is where I keep all the copies of things that I'm going to be using, and they're in order how I'm going to use them. So this is what we're going to do on the first day. My theme this year is bees, because I'm in the beehive state, and this is one of the first things we're going to be doing in the morning, so that's going to sit right here. Then up here I've got my learning targets, kind of like goals and objectives, but a little more specific. They're supposed to be for each lesson. Again, boy, do I wish this was magnetic, and then you could type them up in advance and just stick them up here with a magnet, but no, I'm going to have to write them or tape them. And then this is mostly my husband's idea, to put a welcome banner. This was going to go on my door, but now it's here. Then I have my 4 classroom rules from Whole Brain Teaching. And then up here, it's kind of hard to see, I have my morning multiples wall. And that's a program that I use from Heath, where the students use the number line to write down the number of days that they've been in school. And then they determine if that number is a multiple of 2 through 9. It's a great program. Sometimes I'll have to do a video on it because it's a really awesome program. And this is just something that I made last year as we were working through word problems, and so we called it Prove It, and just the different levels of word problems, and what a corresponding grade would be. So an A student is going to get the correct answer, and they're going to show it in 2 different ways. A B student is going to get the correct answer and show it in one way. A C student will still get it correct, but they won't have any thinking, or they'll just guess and they'll get it right because they're lucky. And a D is an incorrect answer, which is an unlucky guess and no thinking. And then I've got different ways to show your answers, pictorially, computationally, or related computationally. Hard to say. So I hope you've enjoyed our classroom tour before school starts, and I'll be back.